Is this thing that you need to do and want to do going to kill you? No. So there is a 100% win success rate. You're either going to fail and learn or succeed and prosper. Consequence isn't not being able to approach a girl or not getting laid on a Friday night. The consequence is not being able to impregnate a woman. Being extroverted and being confident do not have a direct correlation. It's not always the millionaires and the billionaires that are getting the girls, right? There are a lot of broke guys that get a lot of sex. Why? Because girls see them as competent.
When was the last time you surprised yourself?
Wow, good question.
So Diego, was there ever a time that you felt embarrassed posting any of your content? And if so, what pushed you through that?
No, I listen, if we go through this world thinking about or caring so much about what others think of us, you're never really going to make much progress, right? So in terms of embarrassment, I was always a very extroverted human. And there comes to a time when you realize in life, everything you do is going to be disliked by someone. And the more I've done things against the script, but with along the lines of logic, the more I've realized that people are always gonna judge and perceive things in a different way, in a way that doesn't necessarily make sense to what you're proclaiming, and it doesn't benefit you. It doesn't benefit you whatsoever. So the concept of embarrassment in itself is kind of like a self-proclaimed title. For me to be embarrassed, I have to feel that emotion within myself. It's actually nothing to do with what the other person thinks. The same as awkwardness, right? Awkwardness is perspective. Like, a situation cannot be awkward, because if me and you are in a situation, you could perceive it as awkward and I don't. Therefore, the situation isn't awkward. You feel awkward within that situation.
So it's self-inflicted.
Of course it is. Embarrassment is completely self-inflicted. If you're completely comfortable and confident and psychologically free with your motion, then you can't be embarrassed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you used to post videos of you approaching girls on the street. That used to be your message. You were seen as someone who is confident with speaking to girls. What kind of made you move from posting that type of content to now posting content about self-improvement?
It's ironic because everyone says it's like a brand shift, right? Yo, I see the change in content. When ironically, it's all the same. It's all the same message, and it always has been. So the interlink between self-development and approaching and talking to girls is directly correlated. It's to do with the ability, the competence as a male to do something which is technically a survival method, because I say to a lot of people, the consequence isn't not being able to approach a girl or not getting laid on a Friday night. The consequence is not being able to impregnate a woman and not being able to find a wife and have a family and protect your family. You know, so without this level of approaches, and recently we had a community meetup and we kind of figured this out ourselves when a lot of guys were going and approaching and trying to get results with it. It's a funnel. The more girls you approach, the more girls you'll take on a first date. The more girls you'll take on a second date. The more girls you'll date long-term or casually. The more you'll understand the dynamics of a relationship, the more you'll be compatible and capable of being a husband.
You mentioned earlier that you're always an extroverted person, and a lot of your content is based about confidence and around confidence. Has that always been something that came naturally to you, or something you developed over time?
There's a lot of perspectives around confidence, right? Because you can perceive someone as confident without knowing them, which is a big mistake. And being extroverted and being confident do not have a direct correlation. Extroverted is a personality type to be able to essentially express yourself in a more visual and verbal method. However, confidence is extremely internal. It's a journey we all have to go on. It's a long journey and a painful journey for a man. But to achieve true confidence, you can be introverted. So going back years and years and years, I was an extroverted person. Would I say I was a confident person? The reason I say no is because I didn't understand myself. And for me, if you don't understand yourself fully, which is again a journey, then you can't be confident.
So do you think a lot of extroverted people is almost a front because of a lack of confidence?
I don't know the psychology behind being extroverted. I presume it's a lot to do with your upbringing, your society growing up, like who you want to be, insecurities. Most things are led from insecurities and fears, right? Most actions are led from insecurities and fears. So I don't know, maybe for me, it was a form of attention seeking, right? Or maybe for a lot of people, it's a form of attention seeking, the need to be extroverted or the want to be extroverted. Depends how it benefits you and where it benefits you. Because in my life right now, being an extroverted human being benefits me a lot. So now it's more of a logical decision. But before it could have been tied in with the necessity to feel love or attention or you know, even hate sometimes to some realm. And as I say, the problem with being extroverted is it's much harder to realize you're not a confident person and you don't understand yourself.
Because
So
of all
it's-
the attention that you receive.
Well, no, because we misjudge confidence. So we think confidence is the ability to be loud, and it's very, very far from the point. Being confident is trusting yourself fully and being comfortable in every situation. So being truly confident is the self-trust of one failing. Like nothing in this world could happen and I wouldn't be okay. No situation you could put me in and I wouldn't be okay. So confidence as a man is a lot to do with competence. And I tell guys a lot, you don't need to fight so you can walk around the street beating people up. But when you learn how to fight and how to defend yourself and how to move your fucking arms, then when you walk around the street, a street like London or a street that like South America where maybe it's not so safe, you're going to naturally feel more confident and more competent to deal with any situation that could arise.
In case it happens, not that you're going out and doing it yourself. Like in case it comes to you, you're confident in your ability to defend yourself or whatever.
Of course, competence. And ironically, competence is the exact thing that attracts a woman. Being competent. Are you competent to make money? Because let's look at it, right? It's not always the millionaires and the billionaires that are getting the girls. There are a lot of fucking guys that are incredibly good at presenting and manipulating that can get a lot of girls, right? There are a lot of broke guys that get a lot of sex. Why? Because girls see them as competent, whether that's through their confidence, whether that's through their status, whether that's through what they're physically doing right now. Girls see them as competent. So, you know, we have to look at the dynamics of why girls are attracted to guys and how we can become a competent individual, which ironically links perfectly with becoming a confident individual.
What does the truth community stand for, and how do you keep people accountable?
So the truth community, for anyone who doesn't know or is unaware, is a dating course and self-mastering or self-mastery community where guys essentially commit themselves to a process of mastering their dating life, which starts with the ability to be competent, in this sense, self-mastery. We keep people accountable in there through the community. So we have a lot of guys in there that are struggling with various different things. I have guys on a daily basis coming into my DMs telling me they're struggling with A, Y, and Z. I've had problems that I haven't even heard of. I feel like a doctor at this point, like giving out prescriptions for different type of disorders. And that's essentially what the community is. It's one big, huge prescription for any problem. Because 99% of problems start with yourself. 99%. If you are, as a man, having a problem with your life, whether that's a dating problem, a marriage problem, a problem with your kid, a problem with your weight, a problem with your health, it's probably down to the way you look at yourself and the way you look after yourself and the way you respect yourself. So if we can solve the foundation of our life, a lot of our problems will disappear.
Within your program, The Truth, you do weekly or monthly calls that are more personal, maybe 10 people, to hold them accountable. Why do you give a fuck about yourself holding them accountable, even though you're not getting paid?
I feel some sort of... It's very interesting you say that, because I spoke to a very intelligent man recently who dissected some of my fears as a human being and correlated them to my parental necessity. And the reason being is because I've realized and I'm very aware of the lack of masculine role models within this world. Naturally, as someone who's in a strong masculine frame, I feel some form of parental responsibility over the world. So whether that's subconscious, because if you ask me the question, I'd say I give a fuck. Like I really care. Because it hurts me to see people not understanding what they're capable of. Maybe it's a fear of over anger. Maybe I will become overly angry if I just see the complete and utter whole population wasting their life. So maybe it's a personal insecurity that I want to fix everyone and make everyone perfect. But more so than anything, through logic and through reason, I want to give guys, or let guys give themselves a chance. And for me, that's the most important thing. I always say, if I look someone in the eyes and I tell him, like, you're capable, you can do this, you just need to stop smoking, and he won't stop smoking, then he deserves to live his life in fucking misery. Like, if someone looks you in the eyes and gives you their time and energy, and you have the ignorance to ignore everything they said, even though they're in every position that you want to be in as a man, then you deserve everything that you have coming to you, which is a lifelong of failure and rock bottomness.
It all just comes down to that self-accountability. I mean, if you're not willing to pull yourself out of shit, then you're just going to be stuck there for the rest of your life.
It's high. The expectations are high right now, which is why a lot of guys are just sitting down and doing nothing about it, because they look at where they need to go. They look at the goal, the aim, and they go, I don't fancy it. Like, I just don't fancy it. The difference between this and becoming a professional footballer is becoming a professional footballer is optional. Becoming a capable man is not optional. It's not optional. It's a necessity. The repercussions are a lifelong fucking misery.
So what is your long-term vision for the truth? How big do you think you can make it?
Yeah, for me, it's like, it's not an ignorant mindset. I'm a very ambitious person, but sitting here and going, I want to take over the world, I want to speak to everyone and impact everyone's lives, it's amazing. But I always say, one of the great powers of social media is that I value my life very similarly to another human being. Probably more than some like scumbag, but generally a human life equivalates to a human life. And just being able to impact one person is essentially, or save one person, or redirect one person on a route of greatness, is like all the work you need to make your life, fulfilled. So for me, it's less about the number and where we want to go. It's more about impacting strongly as many people as possible. And the reason I touch on the number not being so important and as many people as we can get is because the more it grows, the less attention we might be able to give to a certain amount of people. Now, for me, the community is huge. So growing the community big is definitely a priority. However, the necessity for it to be loads and loads of people so we can make loads of money is not my motivation. For me, it's more, how many people can we impact? How many people within the community can we have in there to make it completely and utterly beneficial for everyone, and not the necessity for people to hide or judge or become like the result of everyone else's opinion. So I don't know where that number is, but to grow it, definitely for sure. And the importance of community is big.
That's the thing. I find it crazy how you know everyone's name in the community. You know them personally by name. You'll give them a call, make sure they're staying on track, and there's nowhere for them to hide. They're just in their visibility equals accountability, and you're always making sure they're visible to keep them accountable.
I've been advised not to by many people, many growth operators, many people trying to help me like run and operate the business, and working alongside me. And they've all advised me, like, you need to make yourself less accessible to build the business model you want to build. And for me, it's one of the most important things is to be accessible. And I'm talking about from a ground level. Like, I post Instagram videos and stories for the benefit of other people, and that's the whole way through the funnel. So when you get into the community and when you're a member of the community, I feel that you've invested. Yeah, I feel an obligation because I feel like you've invested some form of trust into me and into my process. So I feel some sort of obligation to give you my time and attention. And it's changing because I'm realizing the ignorance of man is incredible. The ignorance of man is more powerful than my patience. And in that essence, it's very hard to continuously give your time and attention to people who just will not listen. But generally speaking, if people want to listen, and I always say, if people have time for me, I will always make time for them. If people give me time and trust, I will always give them my time and attention. And, we do that within the community.
You said that you'd rather build more of a like the way you touch people. Oh fuck, that sounds fucked. But shit, the way you affect people is more like on a personal level. Instead of trying to grasp out to like hundreds of thousands of people, it's more like tight knit. You said that it's harder to and different if you're spreading out to loads of people, but by you just affecting one person, that one person may go on to another one, and just domino effect to hundreds of people, maybe thousands, tens of thousands. So I think what you're doing is really important to men and women across the world.
Yeah, you might be creating the next big person to take your lead. One of the people in the community, you might impact them to go and do something which impacts the world as a result of you impacting them, which is very strong. But I wanted to ask you, because you're in the community, you hear a lot of excuses from some of these people and you hear their stories. What do you think is the biggest lie that men tell themselves today?
I'd say more so the average lie is a reason not to do something. So one specific lie men will tell themselves is it's unachievable. That's a lie that men will tell themselves. It's unattainable. Whatever it is that I want is unachievable. And that's a lie that we'll tell ourselves to save ourselves the hassle of going and doing it. And equally, the lies are they're very lineal. It's always lies about why we cannot do something. It's always a lie in our head about the real reason we cannot do something. So the biggest lie is, first and foremost, this thing is unattainable. And then the biggest theme of the lie is why I'm not doing something. Because people will find the excuse before they find the fear. But if you can find the fear as to why you're not doing something and you can address the fear, then you're in a very strong position.
For me, it's a little bit of a less of a deep answer, but I think like 99% of men, the biggest lie they tell themselves is that they can fight. Especially coming from someone who's been doing like Thai boxing and some jiu-jitsu for a couple years now. Thinking before that I could fight and then getting fucking humbled my first year. And still getting humbled now. But realizing how bad men are at fighting in comparison to someone that even has a little bit of knowledge.
Yeah, if you can have a little bit of fighting knowledge, you're putting yourself in a very advanced position. But yeah, guys walk around with the confidence and then drink a bit and have even more confidence, and everyone will get their lesson taught at some point, whether it's by a punch in the face or by taking up some form of martial arts or by silence. You know, guys often find results through silence, which means that if we're not getting anything, usually we're doing something wrong. So when you're not getting results, when you're not getting girls, when you're not getting jobs, when you're not getting opportunities, silence is often a really key indicator to a guy that you're doing something wrong. And a lot of noise, a lot of stress, a lot of chaos is often a sign that you're doing something right.
Mm-hmm. You talk a lot about, in the truth, about non-negotiables and things that you should do no matter what. What would you say is one daily non-negotiable that you think every man should adopt?
Wow, there's a few. Daily non-negotiables. Working extremely hard. Working extremely hard every single day. I don't think there's one day where you should look back at your day and go, I didn't work really hard that day. Like a non-negotiable is you should go to sleep thinking like, fuck, that was a hard shift. Like feeling exhausted. I speak to too many people who go to sleep at like a set time. They're like, yo, I go to sleep at 10 p.m. and like sometimes I'm tired, sometimes I'm not. Like when I look at my watch and I'm like, yo, I need to get some sleep so I can actually fucking maintain some form of health. The second I touch my bed, like I'm knocked out. There's none of this like sitting up in my bed, reading, trying to get myself tired. Like I'm exhausted. I could sleep on a fucking on a 1 pence coin at any point. And I feel like too many men allow themselves to go to sleep without that level of progression. Like, kind of another day. It was okay. It was kind of productive. It was a bit of a fuck up, but I'm going to go to sleep and try again tomorrow. Like, have your non-negotiable as to sleep only when you've worked insane amounts and exhausted yourself out. you know? And for the longevity to adopt this mindset for years and years and years, it's not sustainable. It's not healthy, but there's a big difference between a 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old telling me, I'm not where I want to be in life, but I'm prioritizing my sleep and my mental health. You have no mental health. You're not even a fucking human. You don't exist on this planet. According to 99% of women, you don't even exist. So who are you going to get pregnant? What are you going to tell your kids? Oh, instead of getting money for you, I was prioritizing my mental health and sleeping. Like, fine, sleep, but at least find a way to make money while you're sleeping. Mm-hmm. You know? Some sacrifices we have to make. There's some suffering we have to do, and that suffering comes on our mental health. Stress is bad for you. So adopting the mindset that stress is unhealthy for you, how are you ever going to achieve anything in life? And I hate it when I post stuff on my Instagram like, yo, I've done legs in the gym every day this week and I'm super stressed and, I've slept like 4 hours and got up to work and do this. Oh, bro, you should sleep more than 4 hours. Like, if you're on a fucking, like, it's not good for your health and you really I get that. I get it. And one of my dreams is to be in a position one day where I can just sleep an 8-hour night with full peace. But as of now, sometimes you have to sacrifice pain or endure pain, and sacrifice peace to actually make something of yourself.
From working hard and all the knowledge that you have now built up over your 23 years of living, what would you recommend for a 17-year-old? What business/industry to get started in?
It's an interesting question, and I don't predominantly present myself as a businessman. However, as someone who works and earns money online and travels the world and meets a lot of people, you technically have to be a businessman. If you're not a businessman, you're a nobody. And one of the biggest things would be to adopt that mindset first and foremost. Whatever industry you are working in, you're a businessman. If you're a 17-year-old, I'd be looking at getting capital. I'd be looking at money and going, yo, where can I build some capital? There's the method that you have of noble saints going on the internet and going, yeah, what do you love to do? Like, choose a hobby and choose what you love to do. And I don't know, for me, if I'm looking at the English industry and the economic industry, it's not so viable. It's not such a viable method. Definitely follow passions. Definitely indulge in passions. And if you can monetize that, brilliant. But also look at capital and follow capital and study capital. And then understand where you can take that out. I was getting my haircut here before we started this podcast, and I said to the barber, you can be a barber in a barbershop, and that's great. Take your money, get your tips, build some capital. But also look at who owns that barbershop. How much money is he making? Who's he giving that money to? Where are the expenses going? How are you making most of your money? Are you selling products? Whose products are you selling? How are they making their money? Is it e-commerce? Do they have a website? Have they built a solid brand? Do they use influencer marketing? And then we're just starting to follow the capital. And then you dive on your opportunities, right? Who am I? And a lot of it is building a personal brand, right? In this time of social media and marketing and the ability to have a social media platform, even if you don't have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers. Building a personal brand so you're able to, first of all, sell yourself, and second of all, sell a product from whatever realm you're in.
Mentioning a personal brand, how do you build up a personal brand without selling out or faking it?
I mean, it's the complete opposite to what people think. People look at social media and they look at people like me and they go, right, I have to be him and I have to do what he does to build my personal brand because that's what he does. Well, what got me my personal brand is doing something unique and being a unique character within that realm. No one from Europe before had made videos walking around talking to girls on the street. I did that. I built a personal brand of it. Now it's changed massively because I gained people's trust, because I made continuous videos. People were able to understand me, see me, and see the authenticity that I lived by, and then trust me to a place where I'm able to now post anything and people trust what I say because I'm a trustworthy person, because I'm authentic. So to answer your question, the exact opposite to what people may think. Be completely authentic in what you want to do, right? And the misconception people have with that is, if I do what I want to do, maybe other people won't understand it and like it. The chances are you need to stop being an ignorant piece of shit, and a lot of people will enjoy the stuff that you enjoy as well. Even if you do something super fucking rare, right? There are literally nerds at home while we're recording this collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Enough people collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards for you to become a creator, right? You're not going to fucking... I mean, you could change the world, but you might think that no one's going to give a shit by the start of it, right? But whatever you're doing in your bedroom right now on your own, people probably relate to it. And you know, for me, it's important to have a positive impact inside of that. If you're a man watching this and you're going on your self-development journey, you might learn a skill and become extremely great with something. You might listen to something I say and take it on board, and you might become a master in not masturbating. And then you can make a whole fucking page about methods to stop yourself masturbating, because it's a huge problem. It's one of the biggest problems within men that distorts emotional control and clarity. There's opportunities.
So you've been constantly traveling recently. You've been away for a few months. You got back 2 days ago and you're off today again for another month or so. How do you stay disciplined while you're constantly on the move, whether that's in the gym, with working? Because most people's excuses, and I'll tell you, this is something I hear all the time. Most people tell me when they go on holiday, I'm not going to work, I'm not going to go train in the gym because I'm on holiday. But for you, you're constantly on the move. You can't have that mindset. You're always working. So what would you say are the main things?
First and foremost, most people go on holidays because they think they deserve it, because they tell themselves they deserve it, because they make the excuse in their brain that they don't want to or can't be bothered to work. So the whole logic behind a holiday is slightly disorientated. For me, it's about priorities and creating the environment. So ultimately, it's not easy to travel and stay disciplined. 100%, it's difficult, it's uncomfortable, it's sometimes painful, and it's annoying. But it's 100% achievable and attainable. So there's two methods that I used: prioritizing and building an environment. First and foremost, when I'm going to said place, wherever I am, before I unpack my bags, before I fucking go and check out the local pub or the local bar or look at cool things to do, where's the nearest gym? What do I need? Where's the nearest gym? Where's the nearest supermarket? Go to the supermarket before I get hungry and wander off for a burger and start my holiday. And the first thing I've ordered is a burger. And now I'm already on the rhythm of eat whatever you want. You're on holiday. Do whatever you want. Go to the supermarket. Go get whatever you fucking need. Go back to the hotel, the apartment. Cook, your organic, proper food. Then create your environment. Where's the nearest gym? Have I got a membership for the nearest gym? Hold yourself accountable. Go and get a week's membership or a month's membership at the nearest gym. Do your gym session. Then go home. And when you're unpacking, start to keep your things tidy. Keep a tidy environment for you. And just changing these small habits. So we're keeping not only a healthy environment and a clean environment, but also an environment where we can optimize in is incredibly important. And that environment will help you probably more than your level of discipline. So if you're struggling with discipline when you're traveling, just create a great environment. Right, and it's what I had to do to overcome sugar addictions and overcome, the addiction of like snacking and eating shit foods all the time. Just fill up my fridge with only good foods and create a rule that I'm not allowed to go out and eat food, full stop. The rule is no restaurants. What do I have in my house? Well, I only have fucking eggs and chicken and broccoli. So what the fuck am I going to eat? Mm-hmm. Right, an egg, chicken and broccoli omelette probably.
Yeah, most people as well, they say they can't control your environment, but the most important thing is you have control. You have complete control. You can fuck off to another country, disappear, be at the house alone, and you control what's in the fridge. So you control what you eat. You control your time, how much you train, how much you work. A lot of people make the excuse that, I'm not in control. This is happening around me. How am I meant to stay focused? There's a lot of festivals.
Yeah, it makes them feel better about themselves.
Just straight excuses.
Of course it is. And it's just a form of comfort. It's the negative bias. Don't forget, through thousands of years as a species, we've developed to survive on comfortability. Animals survive through comfortability. When they see a lion, they run away or they hide. What do they do apart from that? They eat and they sleep. They don't do anything they don't need to do to survive. They breed, they eat, they sleep. That's it. That's all 99% of animals do, right? So as humans, we were also evolved as that. Going back hundreds of years to when we were hunter-gatherers, we did exactly the same thing. Now life's become more complicated. So unfortunately, the script has changed. And to be a successful and striving man in this day and age, you need to endure a lot of uncomfortability and a lot of pain, because we've learned how to do that without putting our life at risk. We have the information and the intelligence that we can do whatever we need to do in our life, and it's not going to kill us. Like before, the human race would I wouldn't like stand up if I didn't need to, just in case I get killed. But now we know, yo, if I stand up, I'm not gonna get killed. I can go in a car and I have an airbag. I can go on a plane and it's not gonna crash. Like I can do these things and we have safety measures in place, so I'm not gonna die. So you have to ask yourself, what are the chances, or what is the worst thing that can happen in this situation? And if the answer is not die, which in 99% of situations it's not, then do it and endure. Embrace the discomfort from it.
And that's what you tell us all. Like, you're like, is it going to kill you? No, then fucking do it.
It's a very easy mindset to attain. Is this thing that you need to do and want to do going to kill you? No. So there is a 100% win success rate. You're either going to fail and learn or succeed and prosper. There is no difference.
Mm-hmm.
What are your plans with expanding in the foreseeable future, whether that's social media or starting a new business?
Yeah, I love business. I love the aspect of building and creating. It's super cool. So in that realm, to continue expanding, networking, talking to a lot of people, having the right conversations, and doing the right things at the right time as well, I think is super important. Apart from that, expanding is portraying this message now. Expanding isn't actually our main focus. Right now, our main focus is complete the integral messaging and make sure people know who the fuck we are, what the fuck we stand for, and what they need to do if they want to change their life. So in terms of expansion, whatever, we're always posting, we're always keeping extremely active. Before it was like, we're creating something great, you're really going to want to see it. Now it's, we're creating something fantastic and super important. If you want to see it, if you want to emotionally invest and intellectually invest, then do so. If not, then fuck off.
There's a saying that your network is your net worth. How do you feel that your network has helped you grow personally and business-wise?
Yeah, network's extremely important. I think it's extremely important and overrated at the same time. Your network is your net worth. It's different, right? Because a lot of people consider like knowing someone as their network. But to what level is someone actually within your network? By being able to text someone and get a reply from them doesn't necessarily then mean in your network. For me, someone in your network maybe is someone you can go, yo, I'm coming here for a few days. Am I crashing with you? Like we linking up, we working every day, we going to the gym together, like, you know? Or someone who can provide value to your business and vice versa. So it's difficult because a lot of people have taken the idea of networking and put it into, I'm just going to talk to everyone and anyone at any point and call them my network. But it doesn't really work like that. Networking is a value exchange between companies and people and businesses, right? So you have to become an extremely valuable human being first, and then you're able to network efficiently. And essentially, network is incredibly important. Who you know is incredibly important. Access is very, very important. And environment is very important. Whether it correlates directly to your net worth, I think that statement might have a little bit too much lighting on it. Where it's benefited me is massively on information and efficiency. I know the right people to do the right things at the right time. So I don't waste any of my energy doing things that I shouldn't be doing, because a business runs on efficiency and productivity. So when you're running a business, if I'm doing all the stuff that he should be doing and he's doing all the stuff that she should be doing and no one's doing what they need to be doing, then it's working on like minus 500% efficiency. But when everyone's just doing what they need to be doing and you know someone who can do the thing that you need done, no matter at what cost, the efficiency of the business is going to be much higher.
You built such a large following at just a young age of 23. What would 17-year-old you think of yourself? And if you could give him one piece of advice, what would it be?
I tell him that I'm a fucking idiot for ever getting into the social media industry ever. A 17-year-old me would look at, or I'd look at my 17-year-old self or vice versa, and he'd go, you're a fucking moron. Because it probably started for a crave of attention and it ended up with an incredibly strong message. I love the impact I have, and I love the business side of things. I've learned a lot. So 17-year-old me would, first of all, he wouldn't believe what was happening because I've learned so much information outside of what I was taught through society. that I don't even recognize the world that I once saw. And I understand myself so much better. So I actually don't see a place in a time where 17-year-old me could have a conversation with this me, because their mindsets are on such different ends of the spectrum. 17-year-old me is completely stuck and unwilling to learn and programmed and agreed. And this version of me is the complete opposite. So I don't see a space where they can have a conversation, a productive conversation. It's actually more so two different versions of a human being.
When was the last time you surprised yourself in a good way?
Wow, good question. I surprise myself continuously with the ability to be completely stoic. The last time I surprised myself, ironically, was a couple of days ago, when a woman decided to throw all her anger and emotions out on me, to insult my complete brand, not understand what I do, why I do it, how we do it. Just wanted to talk, didn't want to listen. And I was able to remain completely empathetic with her, explain to her very professionally what it is we do, why we do it, even though I knew she didn't want to listen, which some would call wasting time, and I agree. But I surprise myself every day, from a kid who had severe anger issues to a man now who cannot remember the last time I was angry or even reactive to something. Like, even like, oh, fuck's sake, or this or that. Like, someone's late, like, loads of traffic, like, you know, just the ability to enjoy whatever situation and not allow stress unnecessarily to hold me back.
And that's one of the biggest impacts you've had on me since I've been in your community and the truth. One thing is, it's very hard for me to get pissed off now. I don't get pissed off. I look at everything, every situation, no matter how it is, and I'll laugh or I'll be like, okay, what can I do? I see it as like a simulation now.
So there's two levels of this, right? There's the first level, which is you become smug with it. You understand that getting pissed off is just a scam, and then you become smug with it because your parents start speaking to you, your friends start speaking to you, and you're a little fucking rat, and you wind them up, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then you kind of mature and you're slightly empathetic, because we realized that once upon a time we also had the belief that being pissed off was going to help me be productive. So then you slightly mature with the idea of it, and you calm down a bit, and you're empathetic with it, which means you're very wary of like not to piss people off through your smugness and through your ability to remain calm and stoic. But like you said, if it doesn't help me, then why am I doing it? Like, how does physically being angry help me? It doesn't ever. So, control myself emotionally, be in control of my actions, and keep smiling.
And that leads on to the fact, like, why are you doing anything that's not building your future and it's not going to help you down the line? Why would you do it? Why would you go out and drink that alcohol? Why would you go and smoke weed? It's not going to help you in the future, so why are you doing it now?
So I've recently discovered that the art to discipline is less about doing everything and more about not doing the things that don't benefit you. So the art to discipline is being able to say no to every single thing that does not logically benefit your life, which means to maintain a high level of discipline, it's not only like, I work super hard this week, I'm going to have a little drink because I feel like I deserve it. It's like, but it doesn't benefit you, so just don't do it.